Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Om Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyeva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So today we are going to discuss a very famous verse from the Bhagavad Gita. In fact, this verse is very much appreciated by devotees. Hare Krishna. Because the reason for the appreciation is that it fortifies the conviction that devotees have that they can be lazy in life. In fact, it is not just devotees, but even if those who feel that things should work out in their life without much endeavor, and if need be, they have to worship someone who can offer them such benefits, then they look up to this verse. When I say it's famous amongst typically the devotees in ISKCON. I'm not saying that devotees are lazy. I'm not saying that that is how devotees look at it. I'm not saying that this is what the verse implies. What I'm saying is that kind of gives us an assurance that things will always work out. Because there is a plan. So it is the 9th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, verse number 22. I'm not sure if you all had come expecting that kind of introduction. So the verse is Ananyas Chintayanto Mam. Oh, you don't want to repeat? Everyone knows the verse. Ananyas Chintayanto Mam. Ye jana paryupasate. Tesham nityabhiyuktanam. Yogakshemam vahamyaham. This meter is very, very soothing, isn't it? Like if we had a good backrest, then would have kind of slouched. This is called as a Chandasa meter. Just a meter itself makes you feel very much relaxed. It gives you a soothing experience. Just a meter, even if you don't understand the meaning. So Ananyas Chintayanto Mam. Ye Janaha Paryupasate. Ye Janaha. Those who, or those amongst the humans who Paryupasate, worship with undeviating devotion or exclusive devotion. Meditating on me. Chintayantama. So can we have devotion without exclusive or without intentful meditation? It's possible, isn't it? We are multitaskers. But Chintayantama, that is not being prescribed here. The word Chintayantama means meditative or in good understanding, wholesome understanding, having clarity about why one is offering exclusive devotion. Tesham nityabhyuktanam, unto such persons who are nitya yukta yuktana, unto such persons who are thus engaged, yoga kshemam, yoga and shema. Sorry, that was Marathi. Yoga and shema. Yoga means to give, to provide. Here in this context, kshema means to protect or to preserve. So yoga kshema, that is provided unto them, and there is preservation of what they have. Vahamyaham. And whatever is needed for these two objectives to be achieved, I bring them along with me. So this is a verse being spoken by Krishna to Arjuna. And Krishna says that I bring all the tools, or I personally carry all the ingredients that is needed to provide that which is required and to preserve that which is essential or that which is already there. So this verse is very much liked by people because all the work is being done by Krishna. Here he is hardworking because vaham mein hum. And all that the recipient has to do is have good intent. Chintayanto maham. So have a very nice intent. Like just be perfectly in alignment with that which qualifies you to receive these benefits from Krishna. For any time devotees have certain situations in life, or those in the outside world also who know of this verse, if they have certain situations in life, they feel that it's all right. Krishna is going to provide whatever we need. He'll work it out. And he'll protect what we have. So we are not going to lose anything. Where does this come from? Where does this approach towards scriptural understandings come from? It is the natural inclination of the conditioned soul. Every time we say that, oh Lord Krishna will take care. Basically, it means that maybe we are not ready to work for it anymore. It also kind of implies that up till now, the Supreme Lord has not been taking care of us. So what should we do? What would be a very healthy approach? There are two words here that are really essential. Which are the two words? Yoga and Kshema. Correct? That's for people who feel that Krishna is ultimately the provider. But there are two other words for those who feel that we should work hard and Krishna should simply be the beneficiary of that work. It's like, my dear Lord, my contribution is not going to be much, but still, I wouldn't want you to work even for a moment, because I just want you to have fun. Like in the Ramayana, there is this incidence of people wanting to build the bridge. This is in the beginning of Yuddhakand, the 6th unit of the Sri Valmiki Ramayana, 6th section. So who are the people who are trying to build the bridge? The monkeys. Lord Ram is seated on a boulder. He is not even giving directions. He is not even kind of pointing out to where the bridge should lead. Is he? At least there's no reference in the Sri Valmiki Ramayana. The Supreme Lord is not even expressing his pleasure or displeasure at what they're doing. Now, there are various commentators that give a very, very devotional interpretation to this. They say that the Supreme Lord, Sri Ramachandra, is so much engrossed in the thoughts of how it is essential to reach Lanka and save Sita, that he is not aware of his external surroundings. So that is called as rasa. That is called as mellow. From a very practical point of view, he is not contributing much, is he? How is that situation there? Because the monkey soldiers simply want to work. We call them monkeys, basically they're vanaras. What are they? Vanaras. So if you ever get to meet the personalities in the Ramayana, the first thing they are going to say is, why did you call us monkeys? Right? How do you feel if you called you just as two-legged walking animals? So they're vanaras. According to the Valmiki Ramayana, they are a very intelligent species. Like here, they're displaying their engineering prowess. So they built the bridge. They're building the bridge. And some of the local folklore, some of the commentaries say that there was also a little spider. In other commentaries, it is a squirrel. Squirrels, here we have squirrels. They're called as squirrels. Yeah? Yes. Okay, squirrels. So there was a little squirrel. It was trying to lift little pebbles and try to add some value to the construction. So many people felt that it's not really very helpful. It wasn't disturbing anyone. It wasn't really helpful. What would a small pebble contributed by a squirrel do? So Lord Ram was completely engrossed in this mellow of Mother Sita being there away from him. He notices a squirrel's efforts, which means that he actually also likes multitasking. And he does it brilliantly. He notices a squirrel's efforts. And he repays back. He gives equal remuneration in terms of blessings to the squirrel and to anyone else who was constructing the bridge. Yeah. So those who have this understanding that there is all the facility that we need to work out things, it is just maybe the approach that we have that is creating some confusion or lack of clarity. Everything is really sorted out. And people like that actually can, it's not their imagination, but they actually have that vision. They visualize. The things are all very sorted out. And for what purpose? For them to express their endeavor to do physical labor as service, which is called as hard work. For them, this verse takes on a different meaning. For them, these two words are very important, Ananya and Nityabhikana. Okay, so we will try to understand this verse from both these two approaches. One approach is where the focus is on getting provided for and having what we have preserved. And the other approach is Ananya, means exclusively devoted, and Nityabhyukta, always engaged. All right? Okay. So yoga and kshema. If that is prominent, then this verse is very helpful for most of us who are trying to figure out what it means to be happy in life. And the other approach is for those who have figured out that happiness is always eternally existing. The first approach is helpful for us because, believe it or not, whether we actually want to feel humble or not feel humble, that is the truth. What is the truth? That we need some assurances in life. Will we have our needs fulfilled? We need assurances for that. And whatever we have created, will it be preserved? We need assurances for it. Is it true? Right? Most of you who come here in this gathering, you found a place to sit here. Given a choice, you would have chosen the best option to be comfortable. What does that mean? It means premium seats that are available. Like whatever keeps your body little free from general pain and discomfort. So premium seats, right? So I'll try to keep it as short as possible, but I'll definitely get signals from most of you. Yeah. So we are here. However, if we have had sufficient time coming here, most probably you're sitting amongst friends next to you. When I say friends, I'm not saying that others are not friends. When I say friends, it's like the friendly neighborhood. Like if I kind of just stretch myself like that, the person next to me wouldn't mind. So that's a friend, right? So this is what our approach to life is. Our approach to life is that let us receive whatever is possible to have. This is called as having a needs provided. And let that be preserved that we already have. For example, some of you were forced to move away from your premium seats as more people came in. So at that point of time, you may not have noticed it, but subconsciously, after some time, you're like, maybe I should go in a little late for the next program because then I could have better choices, or maybe be the first because then I could have better choices. Whichever way, we would want to preserve our situation in life. Unfortunately, life has other plans for us. Isn't it? Life actually works on the principle that move on in life. You have to move on. Isn't it? In terms of age, in terms of facilities, we just have to move on. So for us, how is this verse helpful? For us, the word Ananya has another meaning. What is the word Ananya? Ananya means completely focused, not having any distractions except the goal that you have in mind. So no other distractions. Anya means others. Ananya means not others. So just one pointed focus. This is an expression of your intellect. This is an expression of the disposition of life that you have. If you want to achieve anything in life, for example, if you want to be the person that gets the best deal on Thanksgiving, or is it the Black Friday? That is who you are. That is your disposition. Then you need to have a game plan. It's all very intellectual. You have to figure out what time, when, are there any shortcuts? Correct? There are many young people in the crowd. Some of them are middle schoolers, some of them are high schoolers. High school last year. They have to figure out what are the best options that I have for college. An intellectual process. So if you haven't as yet figured out what it is you want, you haven't shortlisted the things that you want, you're going to lose out on what? Lose out to the competition that has figured it out. How is that? That would reflect in how you project yourself. I think people here have to write essays, so it reflects in that. But you have really figured out why you want to go, where you want to go for a college, and that also reflects in your essay. Let's suppose we are hosting a program, and there has to be a menu for prasad. If you're still kind of having a discussion, should it be gulab jamuns that are like this size or this size? Should it be 2 gulab jamuns per person or 4? Many of you thought 1, right? How can I be so inconsiderate? 2 or 4, right? So if you haven't figured it out, you know how the mood of the management is then? It's like, we don't know, nothing happens here, everything is always left to the last moment. So Ananya, that word is very important. Now, as a family, if you haven't figured out whether you want to go south or you want to go southeast for a vacation, it's like we are going to lose out the best deals. The hotels are all getting booked. What is it? What is it where you want? So then you say, all right, just one person decide. So other 3, they decide that they no longer want to contribute as much. Only one person decides. So now it becomes Ananya. So these are commonplace examples that I'm trying to give, where there's not much to lose. What about examples where, or situations in life where it is actually, if you don't do this or that, and if you don't figure it out, there's too much at stake. For example, should I get married or should I not get married? And these are my options. If you don't figure it out, which one I should go ahead with? And even after 6 years of marriage, we are complaining like, I really didn't want to get into this. But maybe it is Krishna. Then we become Krishna, bring Krishna into the picture. Maybe it is Krishna's desire. Maybe Krishna wanted me to have this kind of purification. So Ananya is very important, especially for those who are here in this material world. What does Ananya mean? Ananya means if you have a goal, know everything about it to its smallest detail. And if somebody wants to come in and say, hey, have you looked at this option? You're like, delete. I delete your number from my contact list till the time I achieve this goal. Because when I put so much effort in trying to understand the goal to its smallest detail, and I know it works for me, I don't want somebody else's contribution right now in a different direction. So then we are like, what if I'm not really sure of what I want to do? Most probably you'll have to take another birth. Because if you're not sure what you want to do, later on in life, you're always going to wonder, is this really what I wanted to do? And that is how the cycle of birth and death goes on. The day we take ownership of not just what we have done in life, but also of what we chose in life. Is the day we have approached or we have fulfilled one of the criteria of being liberated in life. Is that helpful? Yeah. So Ananya. Hence, Chintan is very important if you want to be very good at being focused on a goal. What is Chintan? Meditation. Figuring out things, sorting out things, using all of our intellectual capacity, working with people, ultimately using our intelligence to figure out all the data and what it means. Borrowed intelligence lives only for so long. The reason is this is a very tough place. People don't always stay around us. So there's not always going to be borrowed intelligence. So we cannot always depend on, so what do you think? What should I do in life? This is my nature. I can never figure out, but I have a godfather or a godmother. They always figure it out for me. Or in spiritual circles, the godfather and godmother also has another word that begins with G. It's like if Krishna were to ask, why did you not figure this out? Well, this is what my guide told me to do. And Krishna is like, are you going to take ownership or not? So, Ananya. Meditation is important, or using our intelligence. And if we think that we do not have sufficient intelligence, use the time to develop that kind of intelligence. Krishna has given us sufficient time. He has given us enough time in this material world. If we want to spend 100 births here in this material world, he is ready to wait. He is ready to give us that time. Whatever it takes. You have to figure that out. Now coming to this, a day-to-day life. If you have decided on a destination that you want to reach, try and not be distracted by other inputs. The reason is, You'll always, throughout the journey, wonder, was it the right decision to change my decision or to change my destination? You lose out on valuable time, and you lose out on that time that could be used by intelligence to figure out other things in life. Time, this life gives you only few moments. It will never give you those moments back again. Therefore, we have to have training since birth to do that. Right since birth. In the Vedic system, in Sanatana Dharma, that is what this child Dhruva says. I want to go out and explore to find out Narayan. Somehow or the other, his mother says, I think Narayan is the only person. And we give this example about Dhruva very, like nonchalantly, like, yeah, Dhruva did it. It's like any ordinary affair. What if we had 911 facility at that point of time? What if we have all the system that we have to protect children against child abuse? What do you think would have happened then? What would have happened if you were one of the neighbors of Dhruva and Suniti with this structure in place? Can you imagine? So from our point of view, was that society careless? Or was that society empowering individuals right from their birth? That is what we need to discuss. So are we saying that if we empower individuals, we should dismantle our structure? No. What I'm saying is that this structure is good. However, we need to empower individuals since the time they are able to use their intellect. And what is the example? Again, Narad Muni comes up to Dhruva and says, child, you just go and play. I mean, you can come and sing some shlokas on Janmashtami day, when there'll be a presentation, people will say Haribol, Haribol, but go and play. And he's like, he's really, at that point of time, he's really figured it out, hasn't he? Whatever his ambition, he's really figured it out. And the kind of discussion Prahlad and his children and his playmates have is a very interesting discussion of what kind of discussions children have at that point of time. The children are asking Prahlad, we go to the same school. We learn the same subjects. We have the same discussions at school. How is it that you have learned this and we have not learned it? Can you imagine the awareness that those children have in the school that was run by Hiranyakashipu and company? This is what scriptures are revealing. It reveals about how to empower people. So meditation is very important. Meditation simply does not mean. There was a gentleman sitting in Padmasana position, like that. Padmasana, the lotus position. Lotus position. I could never imagine why they call that as a lotus position, because it is a literal translation of Padma. Why is it called the Padmasana? Does it look like a lotus in any ways? It's like a lotus with just two, what is it called? Petals, two petals. No, what is the lotus position? A lotus position is that position which helps you stay fixed. Just as a lotus is fixed, whether it is in clear water or it is in dirt. How is it fixed? In exhibiting its fragrance. That is the lotus position, because in that position, your spinal cord is straight. It is called as a Merudanda. Fixed. That is what it's called, Padmasana. So the lotus position, there was a gentleman sitting in the lotus position and he's going, Om. And there was a cow nearby. The cow says, So he gets disturbed. He's like, looks at the cow. And then says, all right, it's a cow. He goes, oh. The cow goes, moo. Says, dear cow, please do not disturb me. Oh, the cow goes, moo. Says, I beg you, please do not disturb my meditation. He goes, oh, the cow goes, moo. He asks the cow, why are you disturbing me? He says, I'm correcting you again and again and again. You're saying it the wrong way, the opposite way. It is moo. So meditation is not about just Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Meditation is about spending 8 hours. Why you have to sit in that position and chanting and chant for 2 hours? That is meditation. First, figure out why you're doing it. Every single day. Otherwise, you're chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, figuring out how you're going to send the next satellite into space. And then when you actually figure it out, you're like, Hare Krishna really helps. It gives me all these wonderful ideas. So it's good. You can spend 4 hours chanting like that, having brilliant ideas, and 2 hours of those 16 rounds, where prior to those 2 hours, you spent at least 2 to 4 hours figuring out why today you're going to chant 16 rounds, being focused on hearing the sound. It's not like 4 o'clock in the morning. Oh my God, today I'm 10 minutes late. Let me sit down immediately. I'm not sure if I'm going to finish 16 rounds, maybe 15, but then minutes of one round that I'm going to do. And they have to, no, I have to do it right now. So, they save 10 seconds. 16 rounds done. And discover that I can do it at higher speed. That means I'm really focused. Because I've become so expert at, my tongue is now so used to chanting it. I can do it faster. Is that meditation? It is, if you just simply take the word in English. Because to meditate means externally be still and internally be still. But dhyana, word comes from dhya. It means you're like the ship in the dark nights, and your only hope is the lighthouse. That is called as dhyan. Focused in that direction. So that is very helpful if you have objectives in material life to achieve. Very helpful. So please just don't depend upon the Supreme Lord will provide, because every Sunday I go and offer, I distribute prasad there at the temple. People around you in the community will definitely encourage you to do that. That, oh, you do such wonderful service every day. Definitely the Lord will give you mercy. That encouraging you. Please don't believe in it. Accept it as the kindness. Don't believe in it. Believe in your work, because that is the only thing you know, you can understand. Clearly, no one else has an idea as to what was your intent and what was the input and output of the work that you did. The Paramatma knows everything. We'll leave the Paramatma out of the picture. The Lord in the heart, we'll leave him out of the picture. No one else has any idea, because each one of us is only Chaitanya. We are only aware of our body. We can never be aware of anyone anyone else's existence to its minutest detail. We are only aware of our existence to its minutest detail. So hence I'm saying, please don't believe in that. Accept it as the kindness. And you may believe in it if you think that you have worked hard enough for it. Why? Because here it is said, Chintayanto Mam. Now we'll come to the word Mam also from this perspective, what Mam means. Because here Krishna is saying Mam, that which basically means him. So shouldn't we be just meditating on Krishna without being deviated? Sure, why not? What is your understanding of Krishna? And people will say, oh, my understanding of Krishna is such and such and such, whatever it is. So we'll come to another understanding, and when we discuss that understanding, please let me know if that was the understanding you also had. Okay? So Ananya, right? The next word is Paryupasate. The word is Upasana. What is Upasana? Upasana basically means worship. However, Upasana, the word in Sanskrit, it immediately implies karma, or offering work done through your senses. You have to offer a lamb, you have to offer, so many dandavats. All that is a part of Upasana. Like, for obeisances 10 times or 108 times or whatever. All that is a part of Upasana. So basically it implies working with your senses. So there is Chintan. First part was using your intelligence, the subtle senses that you have. Now Upasana speaks about using the gross senses that you have. Simply imagining how you're going to achieve something, how you're going to have what you desire to have will not make you, what is that? The law of attraction doesn't work like that. That you desire and it will happen. You desire and then you have to work on it. You have to make efforts. You have to use your hands, your feet, your tongue, your eyes, your ears, your body, instruments, whatever it takes. To get that goal, that thing that you want. So it speaks about karma. It speaks about action. The word pari here, Paryupasate, this word is also important, but we'll come to it a little later. Second part is action. So what is action? Action means what are the tools that I will need? What is the environment that I will need? What is the preparation that I need to do? What is the things that I have to ask my co-workers about? Where should I get the knowledge from? Should I go to the library? Should I go to a bookstore? Where I'll get the data from? All of this is hard work. So Paryupasate. Upasana also means that you know someone who can make it a little easier for you. What is that? You go online, for example, you go online and you want to order a book. It is available on Amazon. So you just put in your credit card details, order it. It gets delivered to your doorstep. So in this case, Amazon is like a devata. But the devata only responds if you put in your credit card details. So this is Upasana. You offer something that you have, or barter, basically. This is barter. Yeah. So there can be certain facilities that would make it a little easier for you. However, that is only possible if you have something to trade. And to have things to trade, you need to work. So ultimately, whatever you conceptualize, can only manifest in terms of your goal in life if you work for it. Hard work is involved. All right? What does hard work also? What else should we pay attention to? Unfavorable things, because they simply create a drag force. You know what's a drag force? Unfavorable things simply pull you back. They lower the speed at which you can function. So that is also one of the aspects of working hard. Now you may say, no, I have done all the meditation and I figured out. Haven't I figured out unfavorable things? The world works differently. Why? Because you have figured out everything in your head, but suddenly material nature decides to send you a tailwind or a headwind. What are you going to do now? So immediately you have to figure out what is unfavorable. You decided to go in this direction. The exit that you were supposed to take, they have work going on that exit. You cannot take that exit now. So reroute. So what is unfavorable, don't allow that to drag you down. So my likes, my dislikes, my hopes, my anxieties, my do's, my don'ts. Get out of this as fast as possible. Otherwise, you'll not be able to, there'll be paralysis. Figure out that which is not helpful. Done. Try to stay away from it as much as possible. And focus on that which you're able to work on. At this point of time, which is almost like midway, a little beyond midway of my presentation, today I don't have many stories to tell, because I was instructed that what does it mean when Krishna says he carries or he preserves? So is this helpful? The analysis? Yeah. So that's why I'm going into so much analysis today. So hard work. Basics about hard work is done. So one is figure out or meditate, use your intelligence. The other is use your senses. Now, after you do both, there's something else that has to be done. Nityabhiyuktana. That is the third word. So we discussed Chintayanto Mam, Paryupasate. Now Nityabhiyuktana. Consistency. What does consistency mean? Consistency means that if you have to work with intelligence for 4 years to get your degree, do that. Consistency. Have consistency in that. Because if you think that you could finish off in 3 years, do it in 3 years. However, if you figure out in your second year that, oh, you have to finish, I have to try and get it done the remaining 3 years, then you have lost a valuable 1 year of your time that could have been used in some other purposes. All right. And this also applies to people who do their chanting. If you figure it out by the end of a chanting that, oh, I wasn't as focused, maybe tomorrow I'm going to do it better. It basically means that we have wasted valuable amount of time today. Now you may say, but we still chanted the holy names, and isn't it beneficial? I'm not speaking about being beneficial or not beneficial. I'm speaking about you as intelligent beings, or we as intelligent beings. As intelligent beings, are we going to be satisfied by just the remains of the main dish, the crumbs? Are we going just to be just satisfied by the crumbs? Like, well, we did chant the holy names, so the holy names are all merciful, and the holy names is pure, isn't it? As Krishna. So there'll be some sukriti, Those are crumbs. Why? Because we had decided to have the main dish. Focus chanting. That was a decision we had taken. Isn't it? So hence it is a waste of time. Our time. So it's not that we have to beat ourselves like, oh, wasted it. No, it's our time. So next time we have to just be aware, careful. If we get another opportunity, we should be a little wiser in life. Make peace with whatever has happened. Be a little more wise and work. So Nitya Abhiyuktana means there has to be Satatya. Satatya means consistency. Whether it is you want to get a promotion at work, whether you want to make preparations at home, always the preparations in such a way that people always feel satisfied after they have eaten it. Whether it is if you have a business and you're offering your customers certain products, consistency is important. So these are the three things that one should focus on if our approach is that, oh, ultimately Krishna will preserve and protect. All right. So what would happen if we are good in all these three departments? And what is yoga and what is kshema? Yoga means, in this case, means achieving that which we do not have right now. Kshema means that which we already have may be preserved. Why? Because we are always in anxiety about these two aspects of life. Will we get what we want? And will what I want always be with me? Or will it be lost? Will it be destroyed? Will it be stolen away? So when Krishna says Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham, what does that mean when we have this approach, this particular approach to this verse? Let's suppose there is a pond on the top of a hill. Now you need the water to come down to the foothill. What do? You dig a canal or you lay on a pipe. Correct? After that, after you've done that, the water will flow on its own. You don't have to do anything else. Once you have created a gradient for the water to flow, by the laws of material nature, by the law of gravity, water is going to flow from the top of the hill to the bottom of the hill. Is that true? Who is preserving the water there? Who is providing the pipe and the ingredients for us to create the pipe, or the ingredients for us to create the canal? And who is ultimately, who has established the laws of material nature and how they should function? So whenever we say that, oh, Krishna will provide what we need, Krishna will protect what we have, actually Krishna has already provided what we need and Krishna is already protecting what we have. All we need to do is use our gifts that Krishna has given us to create a channel in the proper direction. Everything else material nature does. Devi hi esha gunamayi, Krishna says. Prakrite kriyamanani, Krishna says. Gunai karmani sarvasha. Krishna says my material nature is very powerful. She gets all things done. Everything done. So understanding that Krishna is not just in the form that you feel you should worship, but also Krishna is present in his form as universal nature and its laws is very helpful, especially if you are desirous of having certain goals achieved in this material life. Material nature has been arranged with its laws to help us achieve our goals. All we need to do is understand what could be our contribution. Look around us. 80 lakhs, what is it? 8 million? 8 million. 8 million. 8 million species of life are simply doing this. They are simply figuring out how to contribute to what material nature has already arranged for them. And when you say material nature is working under Krishna's supervision. Maya dhakshena prakriti suyate sacharachara. So let us stop whining and let us stop expressing that how much we trust Krishna. Because if you're actually trusting Krishna, then we would know that everything is properly arranged for us. All we have to figure out is how to channelize things. 8 million species of life are not worshipping Krishna the way we are worshipping Krishna. They are being taken care of. All right, we have sophisticated intelligence. Rather than use our claws or use our teeth, we can use instruments. So we have everything to be grateful for. Every moment of our life. Right from the very fact that we have good hair or we are losing our hair on the top of our head. I mean, good hair, like a bunch of hair on your head, and you go swimming in really cold water. That is where you wish either you had a cap so that your hair is all kind of stuffed inside that cap, or if you jump without the cap and for the next 15 to 30 minutes you're like, my head is feeling so cold, it's like frozen. That is when people who are bald, they are happy. Isn't it? On the other hand, if you have a bunch of hair on your head and there is a pigeon that does a thing there and someone is bald, there is direct absorption by the skin. That is where they feel that, oh, the one that has hair feels that, see, I have better protection. So we just have to figure out what could be our contribution to all that has been arranged for us in this creation. And this is how Krishna is providing what we need and preserving what we have. Yogakshemam vahamyaham. Now let us come to the other aspect, which is very short. How does one who's pare or who has transcended this approach to life, that person is called as Ananya Bhav. What it basically means that that person's existence is now one with Krishna. So that person's approach to life is just as Krishna's approach to life is. Do you think Krishna is wondering who's going to provide for me and who's going to preserve things that I have? What do you think? Would Krishna do that, the Supreme Lord? That Krishna is wondering, I need somebody to provide the things that I need. Somebody should preserve what I have. So if you're one with Krishna, then your approach to life also becomes the way Krishna approaches life. And that person is not troubled by how will I achieve my needs and how will I protect that which I have. So then, how does Krishna's statement here, Yogakshemam Vahamyaham, prove true? Because there's nothing that Krishna needs to do now. So yoga here means connecting. And Sheva means protection. So for such a person, how does Krishna protect? How does Krishna prove his words to be true? He says, because this devotee has dedicated, not the devotee, but this person has dedicated his life in such a way that he doesn't feel that he's different from me. I'm not speaking about him becoming Krishna. No. Different from me means whatever are Krishna's needs are my needs. Therefore, that person is always serving Krishna. Is Krishna hungry now? Cook food. Is Krishna hungry now? Serve him food. Is Krishna feeling maybe a little hot now? Fan Krishna. So that person's existence becomes one with Krishna's existence. This is called as Ananya. He doesn't see himself or herself different from Krishna. How is that? He feels himself to be an extension of Krishna, to be a part and parcel of Krishna. Therefore, there are no needs that this person has, and there is nothing that this person feels is my property or what is it called as? My savings. Doesn't see anything like that. Whatever the person's needs are, the person feels that actually these are Krishna's needs. So the person only wants to cook food for Krishna. Is Krishna hungry? No. But when the person sees that, hey, I get hungry, so Krishna also gets hungry. That is how Mother Yashoda feels. Krishna is a baby, needs food. So she prepares food for Krishna. So Ananya, consciousness of such a person is that I am Krishna's. What about your own existence? I don't have. I'm just Krishna's. But you're saying you're Krishna, so you're different from Krishna. No. I am Krishna's. I'm not different from Krishna. I am Krishna's. This is just as a part and parcel is not different from Krishna, therefore I am not different from Krishna. I'm one with Krishna. This is real transcendence. This is real liberation. Now, sometimes some people get confused when they think that I am one with Krishna, that means I am Krishna. No, because You cannot become Krishna. You are who you are. Krishna is who he is. So one cannot become Krishna. One cannot become God. God is always God, and one that is not God is always not God. But having one's consciousness aligned so much in congruence with or in tandem with another person, that actually only that person's consciousness manifests to you, is called oneness and devotion. So if there are such persons around us, as commoners, we feel that their blessings are as good as the blessings of Krishna, which is actually true. They're not different from Krishna. Acharya mam vijanya, nava manne nayut karichit. Do not consider the Acharya to be different from me. So now, how does Krishna say that I protect what he has and I preserve? I provide what that person needs and I protect what that person has. So he provides for that union to be consistently there. Up till now, it was a person's effort. They were constantly wanting to realign themselves with Krishna through their sheer hard work, to all the devotional practices. And this is where Krishna assures them, now it is my turn to see that that alignment will always be there. So that is what he provides, the yoga. I am Krishna's, and Krishna says, devotee is mine. And therefore, when Durvasa Muni went to Lord Vishnu and said, save me from this Sudarshan Chakra, he says, what can I do? I no longer have independence. I belong to my devotee. So when the devotee says, I am Krishna's, Krishna says, I am my devotees. That alignment is what is yoga. And what is Kshema? Protection. That this will be true for eternity is what Krishna is preserving. For eternity, I will see to it that this bond is maintained. So eternal welfare is what Krishna is providing. So yoga kshemam bahamya. Yes. Which in simple terms, it means we are back home, back to Godhead. We're not going back home, back to Godhead. We are back home, back to Godhead. So this verse is helpful from whatever platform you're trying to approach this verse. If the platform is that we are still trying to balance our material and spiritual life, Krishna still provides and still protects. And if the platform is of complete alignment with Krishna, with the Supreme Lord, that Krishna, I am yours. And Krishna says, oh dear devotee, I am yours. So Krishna, he provides that strength from his side for that union to happen, the yoga to happen. And he protects this union from any calamity for eternity. He gives us eternal blessings. All right, so we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Any questions or comments? Hare Krishna.
You were going to break down the mom also.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yes. So mom, chintayanto mam, typically, mam, when we say mam in Sanskrit, means unto me. But when we describe how Krishna is actually providing, protecting through material nature, so that mam also means Krishna in his universal form. Because when one approaches material nature for our needs, then this material nature is actually Krishna. She's the energy of Krishna. However, Krishna has empowered her to respond to us just as he would respond to us directly. So mam here also means that for those who are going for Krishna to provide for their material needs and to protect their material savings, Krishna has already made arrangement, and that is being addressed as mam. So we have to meditate on that fact, that material nature is so very kind, that there is all arrangements in material nature for us to seek our needs. You're welcome. In other words, that is why typically when we refer to ourselves as Hindus, the Hindu culture, which is actually, the word Hindu is another way of saying Vedic culture. We worship trees, we worship mountains, we worship rivers. In fact, we worship anna, food. We worship the land, we worship the birds, we also worship the beasts. Like India is the only place where you offer milk to even snakes. Isn't that amazing? Where else would you? Other places, they will be taking care of snakes. They may have snake hospitals and things like that, you know. But right since ever, we are like, okay, it's not just on Nag Panchami, please. If there is a community where people know that there is this snake hill, it's an ant hill that snakes have taken over, they keep bowls of milk every evening. Why is that? They're grateful for the snake, to the snakes. Generally, they're rat snakes. They're grateful that they keep their fields free of rats. So that is why they provide that. So that is the intent. People kind of just follow it as a ritual. However, the intent is that because we have material needs to be fulfilled, the agency that fulfills the material needs is material nature. That is Krishna right there. Yeah? You're welcome. Any other questions, comments?
I think the first category you mentioned of somebody who wants to work hard, and focused and working hard. Can you clarify what is the Yogashanam? You said Krishna already provides that Yogashanam, right? What does it mean, like in the nature, material nature, or like?
Yes. Because when we come to philosophical classes and we learn that Krishna is a supreme personality of Godhead and actually everything comes from Krishna, then we are kind of wanting that Krishna in the form that we have understood in those classes will come and provide to us. And we are not able to see that Krishna in the form of material nature is already providing. Like glaciers, there are oceans, there are trees, flowers, bees, snakes, rats. That's also helpful. Wasps. I mean, we need to stay away from them, but they do contribute. Ants, elephants.
Preservation and material nature is contradictory because material nature is usually like decline of the so.
We are not speaking about material nature. What we are speaking about is the source from which we get our benefits. So how does material nature preserve? What does she preserve? Is that what you're asking? She preserves these ingredients in various forms. Maybe a pond dries up, but there's always a glacier somewhere to provide water, or rains fall to provide us water. Now what we have to do is we have to see if we can fill up that pond again or find another pond, make an artificial pond or a lake and channelize the water if we want to create electricity out of it. So that is what preservation means. I preserve what you have. So we have that, right? We have that need. We have accumulated certain credits that material nature has given us. So material nature sees to it that it is preserved. We don't have to start from A, B, C, D again. We don't have to create water again, basically. Okay. Anything else? So we'll stop. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.
Praise Rohinipriya.